There we go.
Allie, let us know if we'll get
Sure.
on.
Yeah, no problem. All good. So, Senator, I just wanted to start with some news of the day. I know you weighed in on the Jamal Bowman's primary result, but I was wondering, what lessons you take from
There's a profound lesson.
Yeah.
Look, in a democracy, people have disagreements. Candidates have disagreements. That's called democracy. I love that. Argue the issues. But what I detest is the ability of billionaires to be able to put endless amounts of money into super PACs and buy elections. That is not what democracy is about. That's oligarchy. And what happened to Bowman is, if my memory is correct, about $23 million was spent against him. I think he spent $3 or $4 million, greatly outspent. And that's just not fair, and it's not what America should be about. And I'll tell you what the implications of that are. The implications are that in Congress, if members stand up for working class people, if we're prepared to take on the pharmaceutical industry and lower the cost of drugs, take on the insurance companies, lower the cost of health care in America, take on the fossil fuel industry, deal with climate change, all of these moneyed interests, they're going to come after you. And people are going to say, oh my God, do I really want to stand up to the drug companies? They're going to come after me. And they have unlimited resources. So bottom line there is we've got to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, which allows the creation of these super PACs, and in my view, move to public funding of elections. That's what democracy is about. You want to beat me? Fine, let's do it. Let's have a debate on the issues, not come up with huge amounts of money to flood the airwaves.
What lessons do you think, for a progressive like Cori Bush, for example, who are still facing primaries now?
It's not a lesson. She knows it, and everybody knows it. The progressive movement is trying to stand up for the working class of this country, and we've been taking on the billionaire class forever. You know what? They don't like us. They don't want to pay their fair share of taxes. They want to break unions rather than allow working people to form unions. They don't want us to raise the minimum wage. They don't want us to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel. So there's nothing new here. But what is new is they now have unlimited amounts of money which they're prepared to put into the political process to try to defeat us.
Shifting down to Atlanta, President Biden about to debate former President Trump. What would you like to see from President Biden?
Look, I think the way to win this campaign is to make it clear who is on the side of the working families of this country. We've got 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, while the billionaire class is making out like bandits. They have never, ever, ever had it so good. So what Biden has got to do is say, I stand with workers, and he has. I mean, Biden was on, for the first time in American history, he was a president walking a picket line with UAW workers. Trump, on the other hand, pointed absolutely reactionary members to his administration, anti-union, anti-worker members to his administration. So I think the choice is pretty clear. But Biden has got to make it clear we're going to take on the drug companies. We're going to lower the cost of prescription drugs. We're going to make health care affordable for every American. We're going to create many, many jobs by transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel so the planet is habitable for our kids and future generations. Make it clear which side you're on. And I think if he does that, he's going to win this election.
You've debated Joe Biden before. What do you think his strengths are in that arena?
Yeah, I've debated him and, well, many of the others a number of times. Look, Biden is a very decent human being. I think he's a strong debater. But I think at the end of the day, what we have to appreciate is we're not voting to elect a talk show host. Trump had a talk show, a show on television, did very well at it. We are voting for somebody who is going to implement policies to impact our lives. Do you believe that a woman has a right to control her own body? Trump does not, Biden does. Do you think workers should be able to form unions and that we raise the minimum wage? Biden believes that. Trump does not. Do you think that climate change is real, or is it a hoax coming from China? That is Trump's point of view. Biden is putting money into transforming our energy system. So, this is not we're not voting for some Emmy Award here. We're voting for a set of policies which will impact all of us.
You have a lot of people outside who have supported you in past elections. In 2020, you urged them to make the choice to, form this coalition, if you will, with President Biden. What would you say to those who are wary of taking that step again?
Look, if you have disagreements with President Biden, join the club. So do I. But I think you cannot sit out this election. You certainly cannot vote for a third candidate, but certainly not for Trump. The choices are clear. And I think while we may disagree with Biden on this or that issue, I think he's far and away the preferable candidate. And we've got to do everything we can to bring our people together to elect him.
Do you think President Biden has kind of upheld his role in holding together that coalition, or is there more he could do?
Well, I think that's a long story. I don't know that we have the time to get into it. I can tell you that in the midst of the terrible COVID pandemic, when the economy collapsed, I worked with the president. I was then chairman of the Budget Committee to create the American Rescue Plan. That was a $1.9 trillion plan, and the president was more than supportive. And as a result of that plan, we came out of that terrible economic downturn a lot faster than the economists thought we would. So, in that sense, President Biden thought very, very big. It was an unprecedented piece of legislation, enormously consequential. So, the answer to your question, I think, Biden has done a lot of good things. There are areas that I disagree, but once again, he is by far the preferred candidate to my mind.
Thank you for your time, Senator.
Thank you very much. Okay, we've got a rally out there.